Alive, and it is Monday, Monday. What a glorious day. Listen, we had snow on Saturday. What? You better stop. But it's all gone. Duh. It is all melted. But don't get too excited. Nothing can be planted until after May 18. Okay? May 18 is the last known day for frost. So we still got another 4 weeks to go. But it's lovely anyhow. So, as you all know, I peruse these Reddit streets and somebody posted something about because they talk about Neville Goddard. I think that's the only Neville Goddard group I'm not banned from, but that's another story. And so they were like, ugh, such a hassle knowing the law. Like, things just aren't. And I had to stop right there. And I was like, do I comment or do I not? And I said, you know what? If I comment, I'll probably get banned. So I didn't comment. Look, as I told you last week, the principles are not a hassle. Let me explain it to you from a gardening perspective, because that is one of the very first ways we encounter the principles in a readily tangible form that we can use. When you plant a seed, that is the fruit or vegetable that you will get. Nothing more, nothing less. Certain types of seeds prefer a certain type of environment. For instance, corn does not like to be soggy. So you got to plant it in a sunny spot, and you can't plant the seeds in soggy soil. Damp, but not soggy. So you've got to know what your seed prefers. In other words, to take it up by way of principle of correspondence, as above, so below, it means what you want to become has a very specific way of unfolding, its own pattern of unfolding. That's how come you know it is that thing that you want to become. So when you are wanting to change your life, what is the seed that you're going to plant? What is the seed that you are going to plant? Well, that depends. What is the outcome? What is the harvest that you want to have? You plant always according to what you want to experience. Well, this is gardening 101. What do you want to eat from the garden? Well, then those are the seeds that you plant. So the type of experiences you want to have in life, those are the seeds that you must plant. And the seeds of life experiences are moods, attitudes, if you will. That's what they are. If you have a salty attitude, persnickety attitude, I wonder what your experiences will be like. Let me see. And I think you know exactly what kind of experiences you're going to have. Well, then, Angela, why does the saying exist that bad things happen to good people? That saying exists because we observe things and we judge things. It's not that bad things happen to good people. It's just that things occur based upon that mental mood. You see, you are on the outside looking in. You're on the outside looking in. Angela, this person never smoked a day in their life and they ended up with lung cancer. Why is that even fair? You do not know what the cause is. A long-standing grief in your life will impair lung function. Long-standing rage and anger in your life ends up with fatty liver, cirrhosis. So when you look at someone and you see what they're going through, don't judge based upon what it looks like to you on the outside, because you don't know what seeds they have planted. You don't know. You don't know. But as long as you see the fruit, there's something going on the inside, where it always begins, from within, at all times. So you see, there's no one punishing you or I. The principles are not people. So when scripture tells you that man sees the flesh and the exterior, well, duh, he does. Where are the eyes? In the flesh. But God sees the heart, which means you see the internal atmosphere, the mental mood, the mental attitude. That is what God looks at. So if, quote unquote, God is looking at the mental attitude, the inner environment, then who and where is God? As within, so without. But because we get so caught up in the judgment of where is God and who is God, we miss what God is doing. And when you see what God is doing, you get to know God. Mhm. This is the things that we get to pay attention to. So if we're out here in these streets and we're talking about, oh my God, it's such a hassle, examine the mental mood and you will see where the hassle has originated. Now here is where your savior lies. When you recognize that it is the mental attitude or the mental mood, same thing, do you not know how to change your mood? Of course you know how to change your mood. We do it all day, every day. All day, every day, we change our mood. We change our mood from one thing to another. And sometimes we change from a particular mood to another particular mood the same way every time. And it becomes a habitual mood that we walk in. So if you are continually experiencing the same thing in your life over and over, this would imply that you are entertaining a particular mental mood over and over again. So then, do you see where you can free yourself? Man, En Vogue has been saying it for a long time. Free your mind, and the rest will follow. But you know, that's just a catchy song. No, it is not a catchy song. It is the principle. Your mind. So how does one change their mind? You change your mood. It is easier to grasp if I say change your mood than it is to hear, well, just change your mind. The hell does that even mean? Change your mood, your mood, your mood. But Angela, my mood isn't my mind. The mood is what you are aware of having. And your awareness of self is mind. So, well, how do you change your mood? Well, don't you listen to music? Some of us do. Some of us read, some of us go jogging, some of us walk the dog, some of us cook, some of us dance, some of us paint to change our mood. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You see, as Confucius always said, life is simple, but man likes to complicate things. We like to complicate things. Whoa, Angela, it just can't possibly be that easy. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. If only everyone understood how easy it is, then we would all be doing it. But we've been led to believe, don't ask by whom, because that's another day. If you look around, you will see that so many things are leaning towards convincing humanity that life is hard and that we must struggle and that we must fight. But listen, when you put the seed in the ground, that's where the fight ends. All you got to do is put it in the ground. Put it in the ground, and that seed's going to grow. But one must prepare the ground. Preparation is key. Preparation is the changing of the mood. Oh, but it feels like I'm pretending. Then you're doing it wrong. We don't pretend to live, we live. We don't pretend to do anything. We do it. We always do it because that is how we live naturally. Even when Neville says, you stay faithful to the end and you imagine that if you garden, you will understand what the end means because it becomes real to you then as opposed to imaginary. The end means, what do you want to eat? What do you want to can? What do you want to harvest? That's the end. And so that's where we always begin, at the end, with answering the question, who and what do I want to become? Day in and day out, we're asking it. Let me tell you something, Linda. Ugh, I saw something that almost damn near broke me on the weekend. And it's still in the back of my mind. Uh, this young man, I can't even call him a young man. He's an adolescent, same age as my boy. He did something real stupid. He just did something really stupid, and now it's going to cost him 35 years of his life behind bars. You see, this is the part of what I mean about humanity, right? We punish instead of educate. Oh, but Angela, you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. We as a society punish instead of educate. Knowledge is what frees man, not punishment. Punishment hardens the heart. Because when you are punished, you do not see what you've done wrong. You don't, when I say you don't see it, I mean you do not understand why. 15-year-olds, man, these young whippersnappers are still eating Tide Pods. You think they understand the world? Without knowledge, my people perish. So this is why the principles are so important. The principles will teach us how to raise our children. The principles teach us how to comprehend, how to understand. That's what they do. So that we don't get caught up in the maelstrom of of hardship. You see, that's what the principles do for us. But because we don't know that they're there, and that's why I get up and I share them with you every day so that you can apply them every single day to your existence. And it doesn't stop with cars and jobs and money in the bank and a house and a mate. It does not end or begin there, but it begins with every area of your life that you want to change. Every area. Every area. Some people say, these kids are problematic. When you begin to understand pain, you, as within, so without. And you will always know what you're dealing with by the intensity with which it appears in the world. Look at what someone did, and you will know what's going on inside of them and the intensity with which it is going on. You don't just get up and lash out. No, as within, so without. So you see, my beautiful friends, use the principles to change your life. How do you use the principles to change your life? Step one, what do you want to become? That is step one. Because you're looking at something in your life and you're saying, well, this is not cutting it. This is, no, sir. This is not for me. I want something better of my life. You are saying you want something better for your life because you can presently see what is not good enough. And when you look at what is not good enough, you sit down and because you can see what's not good enough. Well, then what would be? Look at what's not good enough and you will build from it because you can see. If you say not enough money, well, then what would be good enough? More than enough money. If you say loneliness is not good enough, well, then what would be better? Companionship. You see, you use what the problem is to see the solution. You don't have to guess. Look at the problem. What is it? You do not have to guess. You're looking at it. So once you can see it, you can now see what the solution would be. If you are barefoot, then the solution would be shoes of some kind. If you're naked, the solution would be clothing. If you're bored, the solution would be entertainment. You see, you never are put in a position where you have to guess. The principles don't work like that. They're very straight. Good morning, handsome. You don't have to guess what he is. He just told you. I'm a rooster. That's what he just said. You do not have to guess with the principles. You observe and you build from there, from what you can see. So if you say, man, I don't have any confidence. So if you don't have any confidence, what do you require? You require confidence. But confidence is just a word, Angela. Yes, so if you had confidence, now this takes us into step two. Experience in imagination what you would be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. So if you said, well, I don't have any confidence because people walk all over me all the time. Well, then, what would you be doing if you had confidence? What behaviors would imply that you had confidence? Well, you'd be looking people in the eye. Confidence does not mean aggressive by any stretch of the means, so you wouldn't be a bully. You wouldn't be a bully. You'd be sure of yourself and what you're capable of doing. Oh, yes, you would be. Right? So you see, you use your quote unquote problem. Child, you cannot be hopping when you're trying to crow. I digress. You pay attention to what you're presently dealing with, and you build from there by flowing naturally right into step two. Because the moment you see your problem, you naturally begin to play out a scenario in your mind's eye. Naturally, you do it all day, every day. So, what would you be doing if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be? See, now this is going to take you a bit of time. Well, clarity is required. You can't say, "Well, I don't know what I would be doing." You know what you would be doing. Yeah, but what if I can't? That is not the assignment. Understand the assignment. What would you be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to become? I would be dot, dot, dot. And you'd be write it out in point form. I would be walking my dog. I would be mowing my lawn. I would be raking the grass. What would you be doing? You just jot them down, point form, all the things that you would be doing. Now, here you go right into step three. Now, one of those things that you jotted down is going to hit you and say, hot diggity dog. That is exactly what I would be doing. And it evokes a feeling within you. It is going to make you feel incredible. It will change your mood and make you feel incredible. And you say, that's the one. That's exactly what I would be doing. You see how natural that feels? That you can say, well, that's exactly what I'd be doing. You see how you don't need to pretend? You're not going to pretend. Now you will rehearse, though. What does rehearsing imply? You ever had a child in a school play? We all know how exciting those can be. Ooh. Have you ever had a child in a school play or knew somebody who was in a play? Rehearsing implies that you are going to do it in real life. That is what rehearsing implies. That you're going to be doing it. That chicken is trying to sleep and he down there. Rehearsal implies that you are going to do this thing. That's what it implies. That's what it means. So you rehearse. Now, where are you rehearsing it? In your mind's eye. You ever been driving? Oh, I do this all the time. Lord have mercy. And some nutmeg does something stupid. And you carrying on a whole conversation to cuss this person out. Listen, you are doing what you would be doing if this fool was in front of your face. You are cussing them out, but you're doing it in your mind's eye. Oh, believe me, I know a thing or two about cussing somebody out on the road because they not merging, but they yielding. Dude, that's a merge sign. You don't know your basic road signals? That is a merge, honey. Keep moving. You can't stop in a merge lane. But you'd be surprised at how many of them do. Mhm. But don't let me ruffle my feathers today. But you get the point, right? See, the moment I said that for you, some of you, I won't call your names, you know how you get. You know exactly how you get. And then what happens? You start to have a whole conversation in your head. Oh my God, I remember this one time. Oh, there's the memory that you're pulling from. See, that's in the back of your mind, in your where, your imagination. And all you're doing is going back and replaying it and rehearsing it. So The difference between one, which is to pull from memory, and the other, which is to draw from the future, the supposed future that you're doing now, is just what you want to happen. That's what you're doing. You rehearse when you want to pull it towards you, and you remember when you want to do it again. See the difference? But either way, you are doing what? Experiencing in imagination what you would be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. And when you persistently do that, you remember what you're doing, right? Because sometimes we think we're pretending and we think we're just faking it till we make it. No, you're not faking it. You're building a neurological pathway to it. Day in and day out, that's what you're doing. Every time you practice, you are practicing the unseen. Mean you're not seeing it yet on the outside. You're just doing it on the inside. Do you know that writing for you was once an invisible thing? Numbers for you was also an invisible thing. Tying your shoelaces was once an invisible thing. Are they invisible now? No. What made them become visible? You rehearsing them over and over and over again is what made them become visible. So you see, we don't pretend at all. We rehearse. Pretending means it's never going to happen. Rehearsal means you are preparing for the inevitable. Rehearsal means you are preparing to do the thing you're rehearsing. So we don't actually ever pretend, ever. You know when scientists tells you that the mind doesn't know whether you're pretending or not, or that the subconscious mind doesn't know how to take a joke? Because we do not pretend. Ever. So today, my beautiful friends, you see that inner conversation that you continually have with yourself about how not good you can be or how much better somebody is than you? You see, over and over you do that, you are building a neurological pathway inside your brain. So now that every time you want to do that thing, you can't do it because you've built a neurological pathway towards not doing it. But then us, beautiful humanity, we have the audacity to say, the world is against me. Nobody ever lets me succeed. You are the one building the neurological pathway for your non-success. You successfully, because we can only ever be successful. We are only ever successful. I'm going to say that one more time for your mind. For those of you way in the back, we are only ever successful. You are either successful at not doing what you want to do, or you are successfully doing what you want to do. But either way, you and I are always successful. Always. So what are you going to do about that today? Here's what you're going to do about it. How do I know? Because you are already doing it, but you just can't see it yet. You can't see what you're doing. But today, you are like Saul on the road to Damascus. You see how you use a Bible story to change your life? The Bible story is not just cute and there to pistol whip people with and beat them and say, oh, you're going to get punished. That's not what Scripture is for. Scripture is there for you to go, oh my God, I can apply that. You see, Saul used to persecute Christians. Woo, every chance he got, let me tell you. Anytime you heard the name Saul and you were a Christian, you would quiver in your boots. This is the story. You see, that persecution blinded his eye. Oh, yes, it did. How do you know it blinded his eye? Because as he was on the road to persecute some more Christians, he fell blind. Oh, he fell blind. Blindness overtook him, and he had to do what? He had to trust people that he could not see or know to lead him, to guide him. He had to trust them. Blindly trust them is what he had to do. Because he didn't know what their intentions were for him because he had a reputation. But he had to rely on people that he did not know, but that knew him. And as you will notice, nobody harmed him. You see the principles? Oh, but here's what happened to Saul. When he got where he was going, okay? And he understood that what he was doing was displeasing and going against humanity altogether. When he finally grasped what he was doing and the severity of what he was doing, the scales fell from his eyes. And then he saw what he was. And here's the change. He went from Saul to Paul. You see, he was no longer what he used to be. And a change in name implies that you are not the same anymore. Well, when you get married, well, for the woman at least, her name changes. And it implies to the rest of the world that she is no longer single. Mm, right? That's what it implies. So she has a name change. Let's not split hairs and ask why the man doesn't have to. Well, he made the rules, so we just we just do it, right? Anyhow, you get what I'm saying. The change of name implies a change from the inside. He was no longer a persecutor. But now what did he start to do? He became the greatest letter writer, the greatest, what I want to call him. Oh, he just became the greatest of the greatest. The same people he used to persecute is now who he became an advocate for. That's the word I'm looking for. See, I didn't have to look for the word. The word just fell off my tongue. He became the advocate. So you see, my beautiful friends, how do you apply that story to your life? Well, you're going to have to trust the principles. You see, and I keep telling you, we can't see them, but we can. We see them in the backyard, in the garden. That's where we see them, but we do not grasp what they are until we experience them. So you're going to get an experience. A light will go on and you will go, oh, I get it. I totally get what that means now. And the scales will have fallen from your eyes so that you can see clearly. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone, right? And you'll see clearly. That is how you use the Bible to change your life. Don't be like my granny sometimes will pick up the Bible and hit you. Hit you with the word, and hopefully that'll change you. No. Beating our people with the word don't change anybody. But it is the application of the word that changes us. You understand? So today, my beautiful friends, what's got you? What's got you all stressed out? Then you start at step one. Who do you want to become? And step two, well, begin to experience in imagination what you would be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. What would you be doing that would imply that you are? And then, right into step three, you're going to get a feeling that wells up in your bosom, not to be mistaken by gas, okay? But you'll get a feeling that wells up in your bosom and says, yes, that is exactly what I would be doing. That is exactly what I would be doing. And you see how excited you get? See, and you don't even have time to say, yeah, but it might not work out. You wouldn't even have time for that. Because, Saul, like Saul, you will know. You see, the eye may have been blind. But then, what do you say when you can't see? Show me. So, if you don't know what you'd be doing in reality, if you were the man or the woman you want to be, you say, well, show me what I'd be doing. What would I be doing if? But you see, it works both ways. Don't get it twisted. It works both ways. The pendulum is swinging, okay? It be swinging. Because we do it on the other side. When we imagine the worst case scenarios. What are you saying to yourself? Show me what I would be doing if this thing happened. And you start to see it and you get scared. Heart starts to race. You're getting palpitations and you scared and panicky. Oh, you see? It works in both areas. So now the question becomes, which one? Which one are you going to imagine? The one that makes you feel good? Or the one that causes you great panic? Which one? Deuteronomy 28 says, I put before you life and death, but choose life though. So what is life? What would life be? The thing that would imply that you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. That's where life is. It gives you life, does it not? Because it feels good to you. It empowers you. It fuels you. To do what? To become what you say you want to become. But doing it the other way, with the complaining and the fretting and the fear, oh, you'll become that one too. Don't get it twisted. You'll become it. So either way, good, bad, or indifferent, we are always becoming. So choose what you want to become. That's what you're being called upon to do on a daily basis. Every time you see something in your life that you're like, ugh, here we go again, that's your cue to say, wait a minute, that's a hidden pattern that I've got. Well, I don't like that pattern. Well, then, as the seamstress or the tailor would say, choose the pattern that you would like and I'll make it for you. You don't go to the seamstress to tell them what you don't like. Well, then you don't live your life in that fashion. You take to the seamstress. Well, who's the seamstress? Your mind's eye, your imagination. You take to the seamstress that which you want to wear, that which you want to embody. So when you take complaining, that's the coat you're going to have to wear. Those will be the shoes. I was going to say them, there'll be the shoes you're going to have to wear. So whatever you experience in imagination is what you will embody because you're taking it to the seamstress for her to put it together. Every time you rehearse those things in your mind, those conversations in your mind that you think nobody can hear, ain't no secret. All anybody has to do is watch you long enough, and they'll know exactly what you're doing. But anyway, I think you get the idea. I think you get the point. The dog dead. Ain't no need to keep kicking it. But I don't, shoot, no dogs were harmed in the making of this video. You know? Um, just my word. You know what I'm saying to you today? I think you grasp how to apply. And if you don't, hit the replay. And if you still have questions, slide into my DMs. But the way for us to learn is to practice. Practice changing your mood, especially when you get wind of the present one. Say, ooh, I don't like that one. Okay, that's great. What would you prefer instead? See how you do it? Anywho, Playboys is here in the chat. Okay. Stay in knowledge. Hello, I see you in these YouTube streets. People on Facebook and TikTok have not made themselves known. You see, well, Facebook, I can see if you make yourself known. TikTok, I can't. Because I can't stream on TikTok, but I stream through a platform to get to TikTok. So I can't see you. But if you slide into my DMs on TikTok and let me know that you were here, I'll respond, you know? Twitter. Hey, bees. I see you, Bez. I see you here in these streets. Oh, look, and that mic is on today, isn't it? Oh, yes, it is. It sure is. And who is here on fan base this morning, kicking it with us? We have the lovely Miss McQueen, my sweet KZ. We got Surreal in the house. We got Flo Smiles. Hey, girl. We have Ray Ray. We have Zarian in the house. We got Jay in the house. And we have Michael. I see you guys. And listen, if I didn't call your name on Fanbase, chances are because I don't see you. Because some days the app be apping, and you know how it is. I went on Twitter the other day and the app was apping and I couldn't do anything. Same for Insta. I'm like, this isn't loading. Hello. But I was like, everybody got their own problems on their apps. But anywho, I trust that today you will apply. You will apply. Oh, but Angela, what gives you the authority? The stuff I planted in my garden gives me the authority, okay? Because I observed, I planted peas, and let me tell you, my peas are growing in the kitchen, in a pot, for now. I can't put those bad boys in the yard, they'll die. That's another day, though, because 'tis the season for frost and snow. So I'm not going to put my seeds out there right now. You act according to the mood, and Mother Nature is in a mood at the moment. Oh, yes, she is. She says, I am cold, and y'all gonna deal with it till I warm up. So until she warms up, my stuff stays in the kitchen, okay? So you see, there's a season for everything, isn't there? Ecclesiastes, King Solomon is what he said. And so did the Beatles. A season for everything under the sun. That is the principle of rhythm. So you see what gives me the authority? Just observation. No, I'm not better than anybody. I'm not worse than anybody. I'm just saying, the principles are everywhere. You just got to open your eyes and you'll see them. You reap what you've sown. Ow. That's what gives you the authority to apply the principles. Shoot. We look at the seasons: winter, spring, summer, fall. I want to spend them all with you. Right? We see these seasons and we think, oh, it's just winter. Moving into spring. What do you mean, just? That is the same for your life. You have a season. So apply. Anywho, let me get the chime. You already had chicken. So he might be resting now. He's resting. All of that hard work he be doing in his singing, you know. All of that hard work. So today, my beautiful friends, apply the principles. Just be faithful to yourself to apply the principles. Faithfully apply them. Not because you're hoping for the outcome, but because when you apply the principles, well, every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause. So do you have to hope? Do you have to pretend? Nope. You just got to apply. Okay, let me get this here chime. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Much love to each and every one of you as you go out into the world today. And remember, step 1, who do I want to become? Step 2, begin to experience or rehearse in imagination what I would be doing in reality if I were the man or the woman I wanted to be. And step 3, immerse yourself in the beauty of that feeling that it invokes within you just for the mere thought of it. And persist in that. Because as you rehearse, so must you enact. Okay. Peace out, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, fan base. I will see you all on the morrow, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mwah. And much love to you all from me, Lil Bit, Lady, and Popcorn. And of course, Noah. Resident teenager. All right. Much love to you all.